Hey guys, this is Daniel with Nerds and Stuff, coming at you today with kind of a special video. I've got a rare opportunity with kind of a shorter full painting video, so we've had a lot of interest lately, people interested in kind of how we do what we do. So I've got this special video, figure we'll do a behind the scenes. Now, that being said, I will give you a little bit of warning up front. This will be a little more raw than our usual content, because this is all going in one take. And I'm not coming back to edit this video, because then I get in a real vicious cycle of editing the editing of the editing of the editing, and then I can't paint anymore because I'm stuck in an editing loop, and I imagine you guys would still like to see painting once in a while. So before we get started, I'd just like to take this moment to thank some of our Patreon backers. They're really the way that we're able to continue to do what we do for you guys. So Emma Baird, thanks a lot, Emma. Junior Zamora, thank you. J. Patrick Walker, thanks a lot, Jay. Jenny Ottaway, thanks, Jenny. Kathy Pretzer, thank you, Kathy. Daniel Sheldon, a fellow namesake, thank you, Daniel. Kelly Baker, thanks a lot, Kelly. McKenna Bailey, thank you. And Stephen Dewey, thank you as well. So now that that's out of the way, we're just going to flip scenes over real quick and then get started. Okay, so that's kind of an awkward transition, I know, but I promise I'm still here, and I want to listen to the music too, so I'm just going to pipe in real quick. Normally, I listen to podcasts and stuff when I'm editing video, but it's a little bit different with copyright stuff, so we're actually listening to Ben Briggs's Twitch jams, which he provides to a lot of people as royalty-free music. I used to play this on my channel when I was Twitch streaming, way back when. So I guess let's get to it, shall we? We've got a nice, juicy collection of video to edit, as you can see. And so we're going to edit all of this together, go through my process, and then I'll do the commentary as well. So I know that for all intents and purposes, I really should be using something that's not Movie Maker, but every time I have tried to sit down and learn something else, I can't do it as fast as I need to. I end up taking like 4 or 5 hours of video to get through on like a real linear editor, and unfortunately, we don't have time for that. Not if we want to still keep having a regular release schedule. So, yeah, that's enough chatting. This is just my raw video. It's literally, when I paint something, I come in and I usually do it in one chunk, so everything is in here at once. This is kind of a little preview of what we've got. We're looking at about 19 minutes of raw video, which is why I've chosen this one. Normally, my full painting stuff is like 2 or 3 hours, but this one was really short. It was a really simple thing, so it only took me 20 minutes. Now, the first thing I'm going to do, that I do for all of my painting videos, is speed it up. I usually speed up the content 3 times its normal speed. Some points I'll jump up to 4, because painting takes time. And a lot of that is time that's not very interesting to look at. I mean, you're literally watching paint dry. So I speed things up so that you can see a little more of the technique and a little less of me working through a process. Plus, the full painting stuff, really, when I kind of intended it, I wanted that to be like the entertainment side of it. You know, when I do my tutorials, they're normal speed, because that's me showing a technique. So I was being kind of sassy with these. They're a pair of Reaper Clear Bones models that came out in the Reaper 3 or the Reaper Bones 3 Kickstarter. So I kind of shot 2 different openings, one with just actually looking at the models like I normally do, and then one with me being a little asinine and having some invisible models. And honestly, I like the joke, so I think we'll take the invisible models. Okay, so this will be the start of our intro. Oh look, they're invisible. Oh wait, there they are. And the intro, I usually leave normal speed. So we'll back that back down to standard. Otherwise, you know, when you first start the video, it's just twisting way too fast and it just looks weird. Okay, so then after that we have a stretch where I would then bring up the finished model and be like, oh look, they're done. You know, turn it from this to this. If you've seen my painting videos, you know what I'm talking about. So we will add that in after we get done cutting the rest of this video together. So now we just want to get to the point where we first start content coming in, which is right there. Oops, skipped a line. Set our start point. And now we've got content coming in. You know, I'm looking at it. Model, talking about the model, giving myself some room to really talk. Part of when editing all this together is figuring out how much I want to say in certain spots, and then getting rid of the unnecessary bits, and then going through and actually doing the painting and talking about it. Sometimes if I'm in a stretch and I don't have enough to say, I might speed that up or cut out more in that area. Especially because in those times, it's usually unnecessary stuff. It's not interesting. It's just like blank space. So, you know, when we edit video, we don't want to show you the blank space. That's not interesting. What we want to show you is the good stuff. You know, that's what you guys came to see, is the good stuff. So we aim to cut out a lot of the junk. So now I'm just kind of fast forwarding, looking to a point to cut, which is usually when I have to set a model down like this, or pull something out. Now this is a little different because these models are kind of different. Them being clear, you don't want to paint a clear model. So I kind of just applied a shade, and that's the only color I'm doing. Normally when I've got more colors and stuff, I'm doing these transitions back and forth, and so I have like more dead space, if that makes sense. More space when I'm putting the model down and I've got to switch paints and open a new bottle or something. So now we've got a dead point here. So this is where I make a split. I'm just trying to get the frames as far back as I can. Every little frame counts that you can cut. Oh, and a very important thing to do that I sometimes forget and have to do right at the end, I mute all my video. So when I record this, I just do it through that camera, right there, that guy, you. And when I do, I'm usually listening to stuff, I'm watching Netflix, or, you know, listening to podcasts or something. And so sometimes that'll get recorded through on the microphone just in the Logitech C920, which isn't a great mic, but it's what I actually used to use when I streamed, before I bought this guy, which is a much nicer microphone. But if I forget to mute that, it comes through in the final video after I've finished with all my commentary and Martin's remixed the audio. Sometimes you can hear it, and I had one we almost launched once because of that, and I really don't want that extra fuzz coming out. Like if you look here, you can see an audio spike just in the video, and if you look like down here, you can see some more trailing audio. Usually it's not very loud to begin with, but when the audio does come through, it's usually something really obnoxious, like a gunshot or someone screaming or something like that. And that's really not what I want in the middle of my commentary. Okay, so we were cutting this, that's what we were doing. So just kind of scrolling, looking for a rough point when I come back with the next model, which is right there. And just back up the frames. What's going on? Oh, I've selected all the videos, that's why. Hit the start point, it'll suck it up there, so now we've got a nice smooth transition. There's played in real time. Now this over here, for whatever reason, Movie Maker really messes up the lighting in the video, so it looks super dark when it's being like instant rendered. As soon as I actually render the video itself, it cleans up a lot and it looks a lot better. Because it looks super dark over here, and that's not how my end videos are, and we don't like mess with the we don't mess with the contrast or anything in After Effects. Pretty much when I get done and I pipe it over to Martin, he does things like add in my bumper and remix the audio and add my background music. That's just how we've made our system yet. For whatever reason, we haven't just moved into a position where I just take care of that. We'll probably get there soon, especially as we continue to grow. His knowledge and resources are needed elsewhere, and that's something I can probably manage myself. But now we've got this nice smooth transition, and this is what I try to do with all of my edits. I get rid of all the unnecessary stuff and just step right into it. So now we're just taking a look at this model, and now going with something else. Another wash. And la-di-da-di-da-di-da. Cruising along. And I keep wanting to start in my painting commentary, but I gotta save that because we're not there yet. So now we are, and I am using some keyboard shortcuts, not much, essentially just spacebar to advance the video in normal time so I can watch it like we are now over here on the screen, or J and L, K will pause, J and L does frames back and forth. So when I am coming through, trying to find like that last frame before making that next step, that's what I'm doing, is I'm just using those to go frame by frame. You can't quite see it because my face is in the way, but right here below my mouse, there's a play and like frame buttons too. So you can do that here manually. In fact, let me just adjust the camera location for a hot second, just so you can see it. There they are. Right here. And I'll just pop that camera back up. Okay, so yeah, we're still just letting this run. Like I said, normally I have a lot more to edit on these because I've got drying times and stuff. Fortunately, what I did on these just makes it really simple in like the post process, so that I don't have as much cutting required. Now that I finished that second one and brought them up, we do have another point here. And skipping ahead. And to do the skip, I'm just clicking and holding, and it kind of updates over there for the instant motion. I did something. It looks like I just wiggled them. So sometimes I will do that for whatever reason. I'll get thinking about something and make an adjustment, or I'll move the camera or something, and I can't do as clean of a transition. Here I am trying to mark out exactly where they were so that I could come back in that same spot. I think I was touching them up or something, hitting the last few spots. Or just like double checking to make sure they were dry, looking in all the crevices and stuff. Sometimes I do little things. Oh, and now we're technically back because I'm showcasing the model. So this is coming back after drying. Oh man, it's gonna be a short video. 6 minutes. I mean, that's so weird. Normally my painting videos are like 45 minutes to an hour, and this is at double time, so maybe, I don't know, I might back this one back down to single time. Otherwise, I have too much I want to say in my commentary, not enough time, I start to feel rushed, and then my commentary quality drops. That's not something good. And now, still fighting that commentary, just doing some placements and These are things you're all going to hear in a minute when I actually start the commentary. So making sure, see, I got some dead space there to eliminate. It's not much, but and like I said, on a short video like this, it doesn't make as big of a difference, but when you're talking like 3 hours in your initial video, cutting every little extra frame you can helps. They add up. Okay, that was cleaned up and placed, and some more dead space. I usually get a lot of dead space when I'm gluing, because I've got to prep the super glue and stuff, and I think that's what I'm doing right now, is actually gluing these in place. Pulling that other base in. Finding the right frame, there it is. Checking placement. Figuring out how I want this guy to sit. And going for glue any second now. Oh, I did this one on camera. Look at that. Look at that, getting rid of the dead space. Because I have so much in the 6-minute video. There's some. And when I cut these as one shot continuously without restarting the video, I will typically leave drying times and stuff in. I've got to edit those too, like we're seeing right now, letting it sit for glue. And although most of the super glue I use does go super fast, or dry super fast, I do sometimes still get dead space. And that's just more little stuff to cut out. There's another one I did, kind of another clear bone, but didn't do. That was my test model. Kind of making sure I had the method down, that it was actually going to work and I didn't need to come up with something else. And now we're doing final showcase. Look at the models, and we're out. Okay, so this is the end of the video. So we're going to take this last clip, bring it up here, and I only need like 2 seconds of it. Just slow it down and try and find the best 2 seconds. Which is probably not on that guy, because he wasn't an initial part of this video. He was just an extra piece. Let's see, did I pick both of them up at once? That would be ideal. No, I did not. Well done, Daniel. Well done. Okay, we might have to do a hybrid cut then. So I get a hot second of this guy. Okay, so we want some wizard on the base. Take a little piece of that. Probably good. And then we also want a piece of like this this rogue type character on the base, which is probably, that's probably my cut right there. Front facing. Just about a second on each. So when we come through from this to this and this, that's too long. This is single speed. How long is this? 2 seconds, and this one is just under a second. So we'll just pull a second on this too. That's probably roughly a second. From this to this and this. Okay. It's a little rough. It's not my normal forte. Shame on me. I normally get that shot down. Okay, so that is probably taken care of. You know what? I think we'll just leave it short, honestly. I don't normally have full painting videos that are this short, but maybe it'll be a nice change of pace. we'll hit this down to 1 second, or 1 regular time too. Yeah, when all is said and done, we're less than 7 minutes, which is just incredible. Blows me away. Okay, so now that we've got this done, we gotta start with the fun part, and this is the part that you guys are probably gonna laugh a lot about because I take a lot of outtakes with my commentary. Okay, so let's get to it, shall we? Just gotta pull open another file real quick. I keep technically a small written script of just like my intro and outro so that I can keep it constant for both. Because we really like the consistency of it. It's good, it's worthwhile. You know, it helps with like a video brand. So even though like a lot of what I do are, everyone is different, having them all linked like this, it kind of maintains that same like identity, like it's a set. So we kind of aim to do that. Okay. And I'm going to be pulling my sound for this, but you guys should still be able to keep yours. I don't think we'll be keeping any unnecessary parts. One thing I forgot to do, I have a 10-second block at the start of every video I do that is nothing but ambient silence, so that Martin has a 0 point to subtract on the audio. So I'm actually going to kill the music for this so that it's as quiet as I can get in my little apartment, so that we can zero out all that excess background noise. That's really what we're after. Here's the silence. Okay. Now I just need to play it, I guess we can have audio back again. I spelled the file name wrong. Which you can't see because I've got the window capture on Movie Maker and not just my screen, but that's really going to bug me. I'm going to have to fix that at some point. See, this is audio. Save the sounds of silence, and now we will just edit the narration so that it stops directly at 10 seconds, so we don't have any overlap. Okay, I think we're ready to get started with the narration then. Commentary. There goes my sound. Hello, this is Dataliss with Nerds and Stuff, and in this this is not a painting tutorial. See, there it is. We're starting off on the right foot. Hello, this is Dataliss with Nerds and Stuff, and today we'll be taking these Reaper clear bones, that's what we're calling these. Hello, this is Dataliss with Nerds and Stuff, and today we'll be painting these clear Reaper bones. Painting them? Full paint? Oh, now I gotta double check. And the way I double check is that I go to YouTube. I really should write this down, and shame on me for not having done so already. But now I've got to go and look at one of my old videos, my full paints. Because I've got to make sure I get that straight on. That perfectly right. It's got to be perfect. Gotta be perfect. With Nerds and Stuff. And today I'll be taking this Games Workshop Deathwing Terminator from this to this. I'll be taking this blank from this to this. Okay. It's going to be a little different because I'm doing what I just said I should have done before. Okay. Okay, we got it. We're good. We got this. We can do it. We can do it. Okay. So now we're going to back that up again. Now, I'm probably going to break tradition on this one because I've got that terrible dad joke in the start, and I've got that kind of weird cut right over here. So I'm probably not going to follow my normal script, my normal routine, but it'll be close. It'll be in the spirit. Hello, this is Dataliss with Nerds and Stuff, and today I'll be painting... No, when? I just wrote this down, why can't I? This is the struggle that we really, truly face. Okay. Hello, this is Dataliss with Nerds and Stuff, and today we'll be painting these incredibly clear Reaper clear bones. Oh, wait, there they are. Okay. We'll be painting these incredibly clear Reaper clear bones from taking them... Oh. Ran out of time. I wonder if I should cut some of that. It's so long for the intro. All in the name of a joke. Hello, this is Dataliss with Nerds and Stuff, and today we'll be painting these incredibly clear Reaper clear bones. Actually, we're going to be painting these clear bones, the ones we can actually see. But we'll be taking them from this to this and this. Okay. Hey, we got a file! High five! Now, the file does require a little bit of cleanup. So I got some audio. But it ran long. Because I ran out of things to say. These clear bones, the ones we can actually see. But we'll be taking them from this. So right there is where I'm going to cut the video, because I ran out of things to say. And then we need to clip the narration, so that we can cut the start of it. The ones we can actually see. But we'll be taking them from this to this and this. Okay, not enough time there. It was a little glitchy. So we're going to move it so it sounds a little more natural. The ones we can actually see. But we'll be taking them from this to this and this. There we go. Okay. Congratulations, everyone. That was the first 15 seconds. Yeah, this is my process. You know, it's a process that works. I don't know if it's the best. It could probably be better, but it's my little baby. All right, here we go. Let's get started. So these little clear bones have actually got an incredible amount of detail in them. You can't really see it because what did I do? Whoa, what the hell was that? I must have missed something. I gave myself a false start. Oh, look at the model. Oh, and we're back with the model. Okay, yeah, cut that shit out. I must not have, when I was recording this, I must not have liked how I brought it in. You see, that's what I get for trying to speed edit. Now this is kind of a weird little bug I've run into with Movie Maker. You notice there how I've got that after image of a frame that doesn't exist. Right there. That's after we finish painting the first miniature. Now, I don't know why it does that, and I don't know how to get it to go away, but I will tell you, it doesn't come out in final rendering. It's just a bug with, like, the instant rendering over here. But it's kind of a really annoying bug. Especially when you're going, like, frame by frame trying to figure out what's going on. And then it, like, locks in that frame, and it won't skip to the actual video until you, like, frame forward or pause or something. So it'll just there. See? Look, we're like 5 seconds, 6 seconds in already, and it's still stuck on there, but as soon as I frame back, it jumps. I don't know. It's weird. It's a bug. One of those little things I just learned to live with. So I'm actually going to frame forward so that's out of the picture, and just deal with that. Except I think I cut that too soon. I need a few seconds before so that I can have... Oh, now I went and messed that up. I need a few seconds before so that I can have a little bit of build-up for like my 2 seconds of content. Like my little intro speech, you know, the let's get started piece. Just so it, you know, I'm bringing it on screen effectively. Okay, let's just check this. So we'll be taking them from this to this and this. We're good. Okay. Let's get started. So these Reaper Clearbones actually have an incredible amount of detail on them. I really like the Reaper Bones models. I like them. They're not as precise as like a Games Workshop piece or a lot of other models out there that are like cast in pewter or resin, but they're cheap. So you can get a whole bunch of them and, you know, still be able to eat at the end of the day. So the whole reason, and that's where I end up killing it because I stuttered too much. Still be able to eat at the end of the day. So and then I just cut back in and keep going. They're really great for like D&D models too, you know, working on like your RPGs, because players that don't typically buy unpainted models or paint models or whatever can buy something that's cheap and they can actually learn on it. That's what I love the Reaper Bones models for learning. They're what I started on, they're what I like. So we want to just primarily pull out the detail in these models. It's a clear model, so we don't want to actually paint it, because then you have to paint like the inverse of what you're doing, so when you look through it, it gets to be a mess. And if you're going to paint a clear model, you might as well just start with a normal bone. So all I'm doing is just taking a thinned down wash, and this one is actually just thinned down Nuln Oil, and we're just going to work it into the recesses and tint the clear a little bit. It won't be as clear as it was before, but what you will be able to do is see the detail. So it still looks kind of translucent and like this magical darkness sort of glowing over it, but you can also see some of that detail that they sculpted in. So that's what I'm after. You can do this with inks as well. I don't have any ink washes. I don't actually know if the Games Workshop washes are ink washes. It wouldn't surprise me if they are, because they are good quality and they tend to move like an ink. I just haven't gotten around to buying some inks and making some of my own. There's great tutorials out there for making your own ink washes, though. But it's just not my style. You know, I like the stuff that comes in the pots, the paints. And a little explanation for you guys at home that just watched me look to the side over here. That's where I paint. That's where my paints are. So I actually looked over at my washes, because that's just the weird human brain I have, that I need to look at the things I'm doing. And in fact, my models that I painted are sitting right there so that I can look at them when I do this. It helps. Okay, so where do we leave off? Making your own ink washes, though. But it's just not my style. You know, I like the stuff that comes in the pots, the paints. Okay, so I've got like 3 or 4 seconds before I switch over to the other model. So I will probably add an extra little quip about the Citadel stuff, or but it's just not my style. You know, I like the stuff that comes in the pots, the paints. I know what I'm going to talk about. So there's really not a lot to do this. You know, you just want to make sure you don't get it on too thick, and just make sure that it. Music got to me. Got too interested in what was coming in one ear. So that's pretty much it for the painting process. You just want to make sure it doesn't go on too thick, or you start to lose some of the... you'll paint it too much, you know? If you put it on too thick, you begin to paint as opposed to just shade. So now we're stepping into this Wizard Model 2, and I wanted kind of a little more of a magical darkness look, so I went with a purple. I thought that might be a good color for like a wizard. So I don't have the purple... Citadel wash. I just haven't purchased it yet. So this is a mix. It's like a 1-to-1 mix of Drakenhof Nightshade and Carroburg Crimson. Carroburg Crimson. I've been saying that wrong for a long time. And I finally just read the bottle the other day and realized I'd been making a mistake. So I mixed this and then thinned it down, and I just thinned it with... I thinned these with water this time. They don't need extra flow improver, because they've been mixed with a lot of that when they made the wash themselves. So we're just kind of getting this on there. The Wizard doesn't have as many types of breaks as the Rogue did. The Rogue had like a lot of armor pieces and whatnot, so it set in there a lot better. The Wizard was a lot more subtle. It had a lot of like flowing fabric and minor things like seams on the fabric and trim kind of going around. So I ended up just coming through after I put the initial down and doing like extra touch-ups with this fine brush so that I could just... This is just a liner, just a generic cheap liner from a local art store. And I kind of would reapply it in some of the areas where I wanted that extra detail to be seen. And this is like in the creases in the robes. And also, something I forgot to mention earlier, when you're doing these Reaper bones, you need to make sure you clean them first. The mold release they use when they make them, it actually repels the paint. So if you don't clean them, the paint will crack off when you're doing normal bones. For these, to clean them, you just take and wash them in warm water with some like dish soap, and I just take an old toothbrush and I just give them a scrub. The Reaper bones will come sometimes a little bent. That's easy to remedy though. You can do it with a hairdryer, just keep heat on a little bit and have some running water nearby, and then just hit them with the cold running water and hold that in place. And you alternate and it'll straighten out. I actually had to straighten out the tip of the Wizard's staff. So now that they're dry, you can see all that extra detail that's been brought out. They still have that semi-translucent look, and you can see that they just have more character now. So now we're pulling off some bases that we've done before, and these are bases that I have other videos for that should have released prior to this. I don't need to tell them about the release schedule. That's not important. They just have more character now. So and you can see that they just have more character. Okay, I think I'm going to pull it back here at this and I can come up with a better line than them having more character, or at least say it better. Yeah, this is the process. This is the struggle that we go through. Now that they're dry, you can see all that extra detail that's been brought out. They still have that semi-translucent look. And they still kind of look invisible. I mean, all this has done is just give them a little extra tint or character. So now, I'm just going to be putting these on some bases that I've done recently. When I was doing these, I may have mentioned that I had some models in mind, and these are them. So I just wanted some quick bases to do for these clear models, these invisible ones, and just kind of give them a little extra character, a little extra space. I really like how that like steampunk urban one turned out, though. We'll probably be doing more of that in the future, because that rust pattern and stuff I really, really liked. So I'm just trying to figure out how I want this to sit. Do I want him facing the pipes or facing these little storage containers. Also, where can I actually get them to sit? So I'm only putting a little bit of glue on these. I don't want them to go super big, and I can't pin them because the bases are still supposed to be invisible. So it's just a little bit of glue. There's another one that I did before. This was a test model, but just showing some more different variety. This was actually done with the Seraphim Sepia ink wash that they've got. I guess when I call it an ink wash, I should know if it has ink in it. So I need to redo that to get rid of that ink bit. Wash that they've got. I guess this was actually done with the Seraphim Sepia ink. You have to go back and... But just showing some more different variety. This was actually done with the Seraphim Sepia ink. And so it's just a little bit of glue. There's another one that I did before. This was a test model, but just showing some more different variety. This was actually done with the Seraphim Sepia ink. So it's just a little bit of glue. There's another one that I did before. I may back this up all the way to talking about glue. On these. I don't want them to go super big, and I can't pin them because don't want them to go super big. I gotta explain that. That doesn't make any sense. Storage containers. Also, where can I actually get them to sit? We'll take it there. So when I'm gluing these down, I'm just using a little bit of glue and I'm keeping it in the middle of the model. Since they still have those clear bases on them, I can't pin them and I don't want a gob of glue to frost up. So that way, ideally, when you look at it, you can still see what's below the clear base. This was just another test model I did so you could see another different color and how it would turn out. You know, this one was done with the Seraphim Sepia and it still looks good. And there's kind of... Yep, that's them. They're done. They're done. They're done. And there's kind of... And it still looks good. And there's kind of... from Sepia. And it still looks good. We'll take it there. You know, this one was done with the Seraphim Sepia. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I didn't use Nuln Oil. I used Drakenhof Nightshade. Alright. Stand by a hot second. I gotta look at this under the light and see if it's blue or black. This is the creature in question. And it is most definitely blue. So, that being said, time for a correction. This doesn't happen very often. So when I'm gluing these fabric and trim, not my style. You know, I like the stuff that comes in the pots. So that's pretty much it for the painting process. You just want to make sure it does... It's a clear model, so we don't want to actually paint it, because then you have to paint like the inverse of what you're doing, so when you look through it, it gets to be a mess. And if you want to paint a clear model, you might as well just start with a normal
I also usually have my paint list there, but I thought I could figure this one out because there's only two I used. Oh,
Nuln Oil.
There it is.
This one is actually just...
This is going to be a delicate cut.
It's actually just...
Okay. Oh, crud. That's not what I wanted. Oh, no! I gotta find it again.
Just spin down Nuln.
Oh, that was convenient. Lucky guess. What the hell? Okay. This is another frustrating bug that Movie Maker has. If you notice, when I clip this, all the rest of my audio, which has been lined up nice and pleasantly, has shifted now. So once I get done fixing this little problem, I have to go and put that back in place. Thanks, Movie Maker. You're the best. Thin down Nuln Oil. Is actually just thin. It's not Nuln Oil. It's Drakenhof Nightshade. Let's see. What did I end that with? And wash, and this one is actually just thin down Drakenhof Nightshade. Oh, was I fast enough? Oh. Is actually thin. Okay, well that's not quite what we wanted. That's not what we want either. This one is actually just... You know, let's zoom in a little bit. That'll make this process a touch easier. Except now I gotta find it again. There we go. It's actually just... is actually just thin down Drakenhof Nightshade. And... Okay, it's a little... Oh. Juicy mistakes. So all I'm doing is just taking a thin down wash, and this one is actually just thin down Drakenhof Nightshade. And okay, that sounds pretty seamless. I'm not too worried about that then. Okay, so I'm just gonna double check some of this. Hashtag thanks Movie Maker. So all I'm doing is just taking a thin down wash, and this one is actually just thin down Drakenhof Nightshade. And we're just gonna work it. Stuff that comes in the pots, the paints. So that's pretty much it for the painting process. You just want to make sure it doesn't go on too thick, or you start to lose some of... Okay, we're good. We're good! Crisis averted! Turn out. You know, this one was done with the Seraphim Sepia. What the hell was I talking about? Lost my place, lost my mind. I can't pin them, and I don't want to gob glue to frost up, so that way, ideally, when you look at it, you can still see what's below, the clear base. This was just another test model I did, so you could see another different color and how it would turn out. You know, this one was done with the Seraphim Sepia. And I think it turned out alright. You could also do this with any other color of wash you like. I think a green could be cool. I actually kind of have a plan to take the Ranger and see if I can make that into like one of those, well, I shouldn't tell people about this, because that's a video I'm probably going to do, so I don't want... I can talk about it when I actually do it. That's a great narration to keep. Well, I am still recording narration and not listening to what I said. You know, this one was done with the Seraphim Sepia. And you can pretty much do this with whatever color wash you want. So, you know, you can do blues and greens and yellows, and anything will help pick out that detail, just depending on what kind of darkness you want. I went with blue here because I wanted more of like in the shadows, and, you know, the purple was a little more magical. Magical. It's magic. A little more magical. It's magic. Okay, just double checking my outro script because that's the important one. That's the one I gotta make sure I do right. And honestly, that's going to pretty much do it for these guys. Nice, short, sweet, and... If you have any questions or comments, please... I done messed it up. I
I'm trying to keep this PG, so I won't say what's actually on my mind.
And honestly, that's gonna pretty much do it for these.
Oh, I was doing all right.
Guys, nice, short, sweet. If you have any questions or...
Let's do that again. And you know, honestly, that's gonna pretty much do it for these guys. Nice, short, sweet, and simple. If you have any questions or comments, just leave them below and I'll get to them as soon as I see them. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do so you can be notified when additional painting content comes out. And as always, until next time, happy painting. Okay, there we go. That's my outro.
And you know, honestly, that's gonna pretty much do it for these guys. Nice, short, sweet, and simple. If you have any questions or comments, just leave them below and I'll get to them as soon as I see them. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do so you can be notified when additional painting content comes out. And as always, until next time, happy painting.
Okay, I took too long. I gotta clip that just a little bit. I was too busy looking at you guys, giving you a finger gun. It breaks my normal cadence. Normally I say that a little bit faster. So it sounds like it's got this obnoxious or this unnatural pause in it.
As always, until next time, happy.
Still too much. You know what? I'll just shoot that again. Just that last piece. Without my finger guns.
Do so you can be notified when additional painting content comes out.
And as always, until next time, happy painting. And you can't see this, but I'm actually saving all of these audio clips as I input them. They're saving in a little directory I keep within my file structure, my terribly typoed file structure that we were talking about earlier.
And as always, until next time, happy painting.
There we go. There we go. That's what we're after. That's the money shot. And that'll kill the video. Okay. Let's just give this a little save real quick in case the power goes out right now. Everything looks good. We don't have any gaps. We have our silence. Okay. So now what we're going to do is just publish this. And I don't know why this menu's not popping up, but... So we'll just save the project, or save the movie actually, it's a different thing, for high definition display in the appropriate location. Ugh, terrible spelling. And now we're rendering, which also isn't showing for some reason. Huh. Okay, we're gonna do something crazy here so you can see this. Now you can see the secrets. Oh, that just messed it all up. Okay, we won't do that. We'll just leave it where we're at. And you'll just have to, you know, believe me that I promise the movie is being rendered presently. Okay, so you've pretty much seen my method. It's not the greatest. It could use some work. I really should be using a linear editor, something a little more professional, but until I can really sit down and take the time to learn something like that and be able to really integrate it into my system, I'm just working with Movie Maker for now. And I do have another piece of software installed that I do switch, that I'm trying to learn. It's what is it called? DaVinci Resolve, I do believe. Yeah, DaVinci Resolve. And it's a good piece of software. but for my purposes, I haven't had time to learn it yet. And until I do, I'm stuck with Movie Maker, which works. I'm able to record my commentary directly in. A little holdup I've got right now with DaVinci Resolve is that when I record my commentary, I have to do it through another piece of software, and then take that into, like, import it as a sound file instead of being able to just record it directly as commentary. So it adds another step, and until I get more familiar with that other software as well, I like being able to keep it all here in one piece. Now, I know Martin uses a linear editor, and he's like a professional. And so if he gets a chance to do one of these, you'll probably get a different experience. But now I'm done with my part. I take this rendered video and I render it out in 1080p maximum resolution, and then we put him up on the channel. Once he gets it, he will take the silence portion that we've got in the start here, and he will then use that as like a baseline to subtract background noise in my commentary, and then he will kind of rebalance it, add in my background music and my bumper, and then get kind of the last polishing touches to put it up on YouTube. And that's pretty much it, honestly. That's all I've got. So I guess if you enjoyed this kind of debacle of watching me struggle with simple software, let's talk about it, you know? Post something in the comments. I could give you the exact same spiel I just recorded a couple of times, but I think you guys have probably heard it. But if you are interested, leave your comments below. I promise I'll take a look at them. I try and watch them. I try and watch closely so that I can, you know, have that interaction that I love so much. And if this is the first video that you're watching on our channel, please subscribe, and you picked a hell of a video to start on. I'd recommend watching some of our other stuff first, like real painting videos, or real, you know, actual plays of RPGs, or anything else than this editing video. Thanks for sticking around, and we'll see you next time.